happens.
Showtime! Showtime!
What's going on?
4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to our show, Hack the Planet.
Hack the planet!
And for those late night hacks, Joe Cola, the soft drink of the elite.
What have we here? The 2023 Darknet Diaries. How pedestrian.
Oh, darling, you simply must try this Paul's Security Weekly. It's adequate, I suppose.
Adequate? How droll. What we need is something with more sophistication.
May I suggest the CounterSurveil? A bold blend of underground hacking notes with hints of DEF CON's circle bar conversations. Not for the masses, but perfect for the discerning cybersecurity connoisseur.
Oh my, this is exquisite. Such depth, such complexity.
Indeed. You can truly taste the cultured hacker experience. This is what real InfoSec enthusiasts crave.
Tune into the sound waves, secrets of the dark maze, dark codes in the nighttime, information, no lines. We're free in the spotlight, chatting through the late night. Smart contracts are lying, are eating, they're defying. CounterSurveil in my ear, security we engineer. Learn the truth, don't disappear. CounterSurveil, we're right here. Crypto dreams and data streams. Listen close, it's closer than it seems.
Who are these guys?
It's Razor and Blade.
Find a payphone in a remote
Razor and Blade.
That's right, this is a payphone.
Don't ask. As you can see, it's just a simple micro cassette recorder. Hook it up to the phone and drop in $5 in quarters.
Record the tones that the coins make, and hang up and get your money back.
And never again pay for a service that would be dirt cheap.
If it weren't run by a bunch of profiteering gluttons.
Remember, hacking is more than just a crime. It's a survival trait.
I love that so much. It's just too good.
I snorted Monster out my nose.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been messing around with our theme and all that fun stuff. There's some
It's
bad
horrible
ones.
in the
There's
best
some good
possible
ones.
way.
I would be concerned about lawsuits later, but
Yeah, honestly.
we've already got Matthew Broderick telling us goodbye, so whatever.
Bye, Matthew. It's been nice seeing you.
I mean, a lawsuit would require someone actually watching.
All two viewers at the moment. The one. Drop back.
But like, all
Right.
joking aside, hi y'all, all the lovely
Welcome.
viewers out there. Welcome.
So this week we're going to be talking about spring cleaning, and we're all hackers, so our version of spring cleaning may differ significantly than from yours. For instance, CrowdStrunk right now is rebuilding his Plex server. That is spring cleaning for us, moving some data around.
A lot of other stuff too, but
Well, I mean, that's what you mentioned so far.
yeah, rebuilding my Plex server, putting more.
I see Sledge.
You're a bit
is,
laggy there.
finally transitioned.
Havoc.
Congratulations, Sledge.
I love that he left that cowboy hat and dummy behind there. It's an adequate replacement
Wait,
for him.
dummy, that's a rude thing to call Sledgina.
Sledgina. Oh boy.
It's the point of the entire conversation today is always be someone that you're not.
Oh, so I could be Batman.
I thought it was spring cleaning. I thought we were spring cleaning. We got
I thought we were
drive,
talking about
man.
opsec.
All the springs. After spring.
Data.
Oh yeah, this thing is sweet though. If anybody's into music, Norma Jean, Mailing the Sons of Disaster, Volumes, Gideon, For the Fallen Dreams, and Amir.
Speaking of signatures, have you painted over the wall where we all signed your wall
No.
upstairs? Or
I
is
still
that
have it hanging up.
No. It was on the wall.
No, it's still there.
I know you rebuilt the guest bedroom because we put holes in that wall. That was fun, by the way. Okay. there were already holes in the wall, and I guess it was last time or the time before I was there. He's like, just put one in, and so I punched through the wall. It was great fun. It was such a good time.
Probably felt pretty good too, honestly.
So no, I think the first time I was there, I signed the wall.
I think you signed the flag, not the wall itself.
Did I sign the flag? I might have signed the flag.
All the signatures are on the flag.
I signed something. That's all that matters.
Yeah, it
And
would
now
have
they
been
can
the
use it
flag.
against you in a court of law.
It's true. So do you like? I got a haircut. I'm no longer Jufro guy. Now I got it combed and everything. Do I
Hey,
fit
same
corpo
here.
wise?
I don't look homeless anymore.
Oh God, we're all cleaning
Jimmy.
up our appearances.
Thank you, Jimmy. Jimmy likes my hair. He
Shit,
always
there
be
goes my
talking about it.
cover. I don't look homeless anymore. That just blows my cover.
I'm
We were
still pretty
hanging out
shaggy,
in
honestly.
Miami and going to go see this chick Tatiana who puts on some conferences there, and Nathan and I are like standing outside her building to go in, and they won't buzz us in because they thought Nathan was a homeless guy. It was great.
Wasn't he
I've
interested
actually
in
had
that
that
chick
happen.
too?
Dude,
That
in
was pretty
Vegas,
freaking
I didn't even know this
Aw.
was a thing. There was a guy we were with that they wouldn't allow him into a club, and he just calls somebody up, and a tailor just shows up, side of the strip, builds him a suit, and he gets in. I was like, what the hell?
That's how you know. That's how you know.
Based.
Based in
Yeah, you've told that story before, but it changes a little bit each time you tell it. I'm eager to hear the
I
latest
try to
version
shorten
of
it. I try to shorten it each time.
You try to shorten it, but then you also add things into it that weren't there before. So I'm not sure if I had a different shortening or
He's recollecting.
maybe
It's
some of
Do you
you
have
can tell
any
us just a
idea
little.
how drunk Sledge was at the time?
No, that was the same story, just shortened. The normal story was that's the same night we spent like $100,000 on 6 people.
I'm actually surprised you remember any of that, because I know if I had that kind of money in Vegas, I would be so freaking crossfaded. Security would have to be actually calling SpaceX to get my ass down.
Oh yeah, we were crawling back to the room.
So
Is
I'm
this
gonna
where we're
very-
starting? Okay.
yeah, I'll very quickly go over this week's InfoSec updates. I finally switched to Prezi, as you guys keep badgering me to do. So let's start.
College.
Major incidents. Signal chat scandal. So for those of you who actually know how the hell Signal works, there's no scandal here. Just an idiot adding somebody to a room that they shouldn't have been in. But as a result of this, they decided to republish a 2-week-old article about Signal. When they republished it, they kind of also made it more retarded. So this time, the version of the Signal chat scandal that kind of came up is regurgitating the news from 2 weeks ago, but with the QR code thing where you had people essentially jumping into people's chats by taking the QR code. There was no vulnerability there. That's just not, you shouldn't be sharing your QR code to link devices. But
the term you're looking for is embellishment.
So the article is...
Here's my signal right here.
Why
If
stupid
anybody
for
wants to
stupid.
join,
Do not... No,
if anybody wants my QR,
I guess if you're watching this and you're dumb enough to fall for that trick, I mean, that's on
The
you.
really funny part is it froze on that. So if he didn't intend to leave it for any length of time, well, not that it matters because you can stop the video later. But Jesus.
next we got 23andMe. They've already had a data breach last year. Messed them up pretty good, and now they're going to bankrupt. So the question is, what happens to your data?
that is the question.
Don't see.
If you sent your data into 23andMe and thought it was going to be secure, or the feds weren't going to get it, or something like that, I got some bad news for you. It's always going to happen.
Yeah,
A lot of privacy
23andMe.
concerns too. What happens if an insurance company buys this data and tries to use it, for instance, to rule out people who might be predisposed to cancer due to genetics, as an example?
I'm actually surprised that
Well-
23andMe hasn't already sold the data to those people in the first place.
Well, more importantly, they're going to tell the world if you're predisposed to that cilantro gene.
Oh, God.
My money is actually on like LexisNexis getting it and just adding it to their database.
Okay, yeah. Although
It'll-
I
it'll
really
be a
don't want the
feature.
world knowing that I just like cilantro because it tastes like soap. I actually have the gene. It's just soap tastes good.
It's good soap.
It's good soap.
Not to be confused with good soup.
Everybody,
I'm
tells
totally
me-
kidding about that, but I'm also half serious.
we actually had a conversation about this on social media, and everybody agreed that it tastes like Dawn. And I was like, guys, how much Dawn are you actually eating to know this?
Well, how many times
And
did you
Dawn
cuss
died
as a
recently
child in the
too.
Deep
She's not gonna be the
South?
new Buffy.
I used to say fuck when I was a kid. My mom would wash my mouth out with Dawn soap.
I was like, how many times did y'all say fuck as a kid? Because I ate tons of Dawn soap. We are.
Mine was Ivory, and that was for saying the word boob.
Oh, Ivory's fun
Oh,
if you throw it in the
God.
microwave. Yeah,
Okay, this
Ivory
is
soap is fun if you throw it in the microwave.
guys. We have to include the disclaimer before YouTube bans us. Please do not eat soap or throw soap in microwave, or just actually listen to our advice
Do
at all.
not
honestly.
Stick to
Oh,
the Tide Pods.
Yes, Tide Pods. You guys stick with the Tide Pods.
No,
Dude,
And the dishwasher ones work too.
please do not. All right, people cancel us. Really?
But no, seriously, take if you have Ivory soap, take a chunk of it, stick it on a plate, and drop it in the microwave. It's really neat. It will expand exponentially. It's super cool. It's a neat
The
science.
CounterSurveil challenge.
No, it's just a science experiment for kids.
Anyways,
I don't know if I trust.
Look up
you
how to
for
make
kids, my
elephant
dude.
toothpaste. That's also a fun experiment.
It is fun. It makes a mess, but it's good.
Indeed. So Oracle is still denying that they had a breach, and at this point, the threat actor even posted a text file on a server that they control, proving that they had been infiltrated. And they're still saying there has been no security breach of Oracle systems, and all of the single sign-on information that was provided to them is still safe. However, the breach itself that was on raid forums and has not been fully leaked, just part of it, as like proof. This proof file contains valid SSO configurations from several organizations who have confirmed that this information is valid. So it does seem they have been breached. They're just not admitting to it just yet.
So I see they're using the bossing say technique of there is no breach in bossing say.
There is no breach in bossing say. There you go.
I can't say that's a good technique, but I mean,
It's a technique.
It's a technique. It'd probably be cheaper to just, hire a security team. Oh, they already have one? Shit, sorry.
This week we have Chrome and Firefox 0 days. Emergency patches issued for both, affecting countless users. These demonstrate persistent threats posed by zero-day exploits. So update your browser. If it's not set to auto-update, you probably should just put it on that. It's a lot easier than manually updating it every time.
Yep.
NYU also had a data breach. NYU being one of the bigger colleges out there in New York. A lot of famous and rich people go to NYU. So this significant data breach exposed the personal information of over 3 million applicants from NYU, meaning these were people who applied to go to that college, not necessarily ones who even got in. This incident raises serious concerns about the data retention practices and responsibilities of educational institutions when it comes to protecting sensitive information. Ukraine had a cyber attack that was not cyber at all. This attack actually relied on a $20 radio that you can go buy online, like a Baofeng. And all they needed to do this essentially is broadcast on the correct frequency. There's a stop code that this railroad will comply with. And they just repeatedly played the stop code over and over again on a loop, leading to the railroads completely refusing to move because they kept getting the stop code over and over and over again. Also detailed within the RFC for that particular piece of software that's installed on these railroads, meaning that anybody can go look up how to do this and do it because it's publicly available information.
That's like DAuth on steroids.
It is very similar to a DAuth attack. This is an emergency system, essentially, so that first responders and other people, if there's somebody on the tracks, can stop a train using just their little police radio that they've already got in an emergency. Unfortunately, this has been taken advantage of because bad actors and wartime leads to people manipulating things that were meant for public safety to do bad things. So,
that does happen. Can confirm.
Yeah, some people really should not drink and own Baofangs.
Or hack RS with the Havoc quarterback.
Yeah.
Broader themes, cybersecurity risks, inadequate cybersecurity practices across both government and private sector have led to increasing risks. This Signal chat scandal does highlight security to plebs, to the people out there who are not security people. They understand, oh, there are encrypted messaging apps, right? But the government message that, oh, you can't really trust Signal because our dumbasses added somebody to a group chat who shouldn't have been in there is not the narrative they're going to. So instead, they're trying to blame Signal. Maybe the Signal's bad. I don't know. Well, it's not. The thing that is bad is people are stupid and they don't vet people they add. This is not a skiff. This is an encrypted messaging application. And even using this, you should be still disabling your notifications in Google that will undoubtedly. So if you know anything about the way Android works, if you're using the Google push service, you're still going to get that data unencrypted from the messages you are receiving in Signal through Google's push service. Now, I believe Signal itself might have fixed this by using an alternate push service. The majority of your apps, if you have notifications turned on Android where you can see the text that was sent to you, that's going through Google servers and it is unencrypted and it can be subpoenaed. So maybe don't turn that on. Unless you are in our InfoSec chat and you really need that latest news every second.
Don't turn that on, especially if you're in that chat.
We will spam you to death and not even talk about InfoSec. Privacy concerns. So back to the 23andMe story. Now that they're facing bankruptcy, customers are being told to navigate through their website and go to the area where they can delete their personal data. Now, this doesn't necessarily guarantee that the company themselves will delete the data from their back end, but it will also supposedly they are processing these requests one at a time and deleting the data. Now, that data is also going to exist in their backups, and their backups are probably going to be part of whatever people buy when this company gets picked apart for the skeleton that it now is. So,
yeah, that's delete my data, pretty please. Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry, it's too late. Like, you use the service.
This is why we don't put our DNA where it doesn't belong.
Yep. Also, keep your DNA out of crazy, which is why you don't use 23andMe. But also, keep your DNA out of crazy.
Speaking of, I've never abided by that rule. Speaking of,
don't be hip. Keep your DNA out of crazy.
The product of not keeping your DNA out of crazy, Sledge is back.
Oh, okay. I didn't mean for it to get that mean.
That was beautiful. That was good. He has no idea what's going on. That was miraculous. That was so good. Jesus.
So the Signal chat scandal that's not a scandal emphasizes the need for accountability when it comes to secure communications protocols. Stricter measures are necessary to safeguard sensitive information. Off the bat, Signal is way better than most encrypted apps or apps that purport to be encrypted or ones the government previously said, hey, these things have responsibly managed encryption. Responsibly managed meaning they gave us the key so we can decrypt your shit without needing to get a warrant. Signal didn't comply with that, so that's good. Also, it's probably why the government themselves are using Signal, not just this administration, but the previous one as well. So Signal, as far as I'm concerned, is still safe. I'm always paranoid about everything, so I'm not going to say anything super stupid over even Signal. But, you know, unless you're building your own skiff, maybe keep things to yourself. CrowdStrong, go ahead.
His name was, oh my God, y'all are going to like stab me. Shout out to Steve Jobs for, was it Wozniak? Somebody from Apple told the government to just take a hike when they wanted that backdoor back after the San Bernardino shooter thing. Good on them. I can't remember. I think Jobs was dead at the time. So whoever it was that did that from Apple, good on you guys.
Indeed.
No,
Apple has oftentimes refused to comply with government's requests for data, especially unencrypting full backups. They have complied with some requests when there's like an actual serious deal thing happening. But the majority of them, they tell people to get bent. And I like that. And then they go to a third party, which is an Israeli company that then just unlocks it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like ecosystem.
But it's that one device, right? It's not the whole system.
They will unlock an individual iCloud linked device is kind of their business model, not the entire cloud. Unless, you know, but what they did screw up with is in Europe, because Europe was being a dick Apple was like, screw you guys, you're no longer getting encrypted backups for your shit. You can still have backups, they're just not going to be encrypted because your government's not playing ball with us the way that we want, so screw your entire user base over there.
I missed all that.
So, yeah, that was not too long ago. I can still pull that up, actually. Apple,
Apple
Europe,
rage there.
Cloud your own data,
Europe,
Cloud your own data.
Encryption.
This is a reminder that if it is not your cloud, you do not own the cloud. And the cloud is really nothing but someone else's computer anyway.
Yeah, there is no cloud. It's just somebody else's computer.
So this is a result of multiple frivolous lawsuits asking Apple to decrypt things that were not oftentimes even relevant to a law enforcement investigation. An overwhelming amount of requests here. Was kind of the way Apple put it. And if we do a Chrome tab share, that should pop up just there. So this article is from the BBC.
Last month. Okay.
Yeah. So they're taking an unprecedented step of removing the highest level of data security from UK customers after the government demanded access to user data. The ADP, Advanced Data Protection, means only the account holders can view items such as photos or documents stored online through end-to-end encryption. But earlier this month, the UK government asked for the right to see that data, which is not even data that Apple themselves can access. The only way for them to comply with this would be either to create a backdoor or to disable encryption as a whole. So guess what they decided to do? Well, we're not going to lie and say that your shit's secure if it's no longer secure, so we're just not going to secure it. I would argue it's still a ballsy move, but I certainly wouldn't trust my iCloud backups being in the UK. I certainly see some UK customers using a VPN and changing their location to say they're in the US just to have fully encrypted backups at this point. But yeah, this was an opt-in service, by the way, meaning that you had to sign up to get it. So it wasn't the default iCloud configuration. It was kind of an advanced security feature.
Insert roll your own VPN video here.
Yeah, roll your own VPN. It's time, and we actually have affiliate code now, don't we?
Somewhere.
Do we?
Is the website up?
Is it? No.
Is it?
Well, I didn't hear if we had an affiliate code.
All right, so that's coming soon. that's coming soon.
Like, how am I supposed to make a website when I don't know if we have a code or not, dude? Like, that's effort.
We should make a website anyway because I own the domain. So come on.
Okay.
Oh, you want to protect your precious data from the prying eyes of your ISP, the NSA, and your nosy neighbor? Well, good luck with that. But if you insist on not being a sheep, roll your own fucking VPN is the way to go. First, go buy a VPS. Don't worry, it's not like you're renting a server to host your illicit activities. Or are you? Then, install WireGuard. It's like setting up a secret underground bunker for your internet traffic, but without the risk of being raided by the feds. And the best part? You get to deal with all the fun of configuring your own VPN. Who needs user-friendly interfaces when you can spend hours debugging config files? Just generate some keys, set up your server and clients, and voila! You'll be encrypting your traffic like a pro. Or, like a script kiddie trying to hide their torrenting habits. So why pay for some overpriced VPN service that's just going to sell your data anyway? Roll your own fucking VPN. It's like DIY for your digital paranoia. Trust me, it's a blast. You'll be the envy of all your friends who are still using public Wi-Fi without a VPN. Losers, roll your own fucking VPN. Secure. Fast. Pain in the ass.
There we go.
Jesus, I love that video so much. I do. I love that video so much. I have no idea
if you enjoy it.
Codes because I'm bad and haven't looked. We did that one night, and I have been so blasted since then. I could not tell you, but give me a minute. I can answer this question.
Makes the joke better. Like we're not gonna make any money off of it. It's just
don't worry about it. We have all 2 live viewers tonight, so we're good. We're good.
Like
nobody cares. We're pretty much just talking to ourselves at this point, which I'm okay with.
I'm here for an echo chamber.
Do we have the story of have I been pwned getting pwned?
We do.
Wait, what?
So let me get that up, and I'll have it there.
Okay, I haven't heard about this.
Yeah, he got fished.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Oh my god!
Bro got fished.
We live in the weirdest
It
possible
was one of the
timeline.
employees of Have I Been Pwned, but it was not the main guy.
Okay,
put the
so
site
I never
together.
saw an actual article of it yet.
Oh, maybe it was him actually. Now that I'm looking at this article,
He
let's
hit,
see. Let's
Twitter
pop
and
it
was
in.
like, yeah, he hit Twitter and was like, "Hey, I got fished." Troy Hunt, there we go.
It's like,
This is a
haven't
good way
you tried
for him
not
to
getting
retire.
fished?
Just be like, yeah, I got fished. I'm done. Goodbye. He tried selling it. Nobody wanted it. So
It just proves that nobody is invulnerable to this. Nobody.
No matter how much we make fun of them.
Wait.
We are.
So
You said he
Troy
tried
Hunt,
selling it. Do you mean
the
Have
owner.
I Been Pwned? He tried to sell that?
yes,
Probably
you
the
remember
data.
like a
And
year
no
ago it was up
thousand-
for auction and didn't meet the bare minimum for the auction.
I do not remember that.
Or something like that. Let me see.
It's probably not really worth anything since it's already out
Oh.
there.
Hey, look, we do in fact now have a what you call it with DigitalOcean. Sick.
Wait, shit, they actually approved us?
They approved us.
I guess they haven't seen our
Right.
stream.
So good. That's so good.
They haven't seen our podcast at all, have
So
they?
this was a while ago. So
That's
my
fantastic.
timelines are way off. Back in July of 2019, it was up for sale. It did not sell. Just because apparently it's been that many years since this happened, and my brain still remembers it for some reason, and incorrectly, most likely.
I'm still betting
back
it's
to
because
Troy
you
here.
can find. I'm still gonna bet it's because all that information is already on the dark web and people can already access it or already have it. So why pay for it?
Right. That was really more of a site for normies to, I don't know, just look at, honestly. Like, I don't know too many people who actually seriously used it other than scaring a normie.
It's never really been useful. Because now you got that
So
your browser extensions going, hey,
Yeah.
your password's fucked. Go change it. That's basically what Have I Been Pwned did.
yeah, I mean they aggregate a lot of data breaches and let people know when they were involved in one, which is a great service. Arguably, they did it the right way too, because they don't give you the password that was breached, but they'll still let you search by password to see if that password has been in multiple breaches, but won't then associate it back to the account, which is arguably a pretty good opsec way of doing it, where you're not just giving the password to the bad guys. However, you're still at the same time allowing the bad guys to at least figure out what breach you're in, and then they cross-correlate that, pull it down, and find your password.
Yeah,
But
it's still a good way to build a password list.
it's a better way than existed before. Before this, there were a couple of Russian websites that you could use for the same functionality that cost money, and they weren't on the darknet or anything, but they existed for a while. And then Have I Been Pwned came out, and then Dehashed and a couple of variants of Dehashed have been around over the years. And these websites will actually, for like $5 a week, let you go look up your passwords that were actually breached, that have been dehashed, as in the most common algorithm for taking your password, hashing it, and then they're able to brute force that hash and reverse it. So for those of you uninitiated with the ways of Hashcat.
And a lot of them, sometimes you actually get clear text passwords, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
I think we must have pissed off our viewers because we got nobody watching. Oh wait, no.
We have no cool guests on tonight.
Yeah,
probably
nobody
it.
wants to hop in for just us. We're just lame asses over here. But so spring cleaning as a concept, right? You listen to people nowadays; they're all like, "You should get your shit in order before you try and change the world," and I agree with that to a degree. I mean, it's kind of hard to hack the planet when you can't find anything in the room you're trying to hack from. If you're like living in a mess, spring is a good time and a good excuse to go clean your shit. Now, arguably, the folder structure of my multiple hard drives across my multiple computers is probably way better organized than all the shit I've got in my house. If I could apply that same chutzpah to actually sorting through my real life items that I do my digital things I'd like to keep forever, I would probably not spend an hour looking for where I put the sugar in the morning to get my coffee. But You know, CrowdStrong, you seem to be making some progress today in terms of sorting and organizing things.
No,
What have you gotten accomplished?
I've got all kinds of stuff done, but the weekend I've got three well, I'll just say it, Synology devices, and then I have a Dado that I hacked to run DISM, the Synology's software, and I'm working on my Plex server, which is what I was talking about earlier. It's got I think 8 terabytes of storage in it, and I've got drives to put in it to make it 28 terabytes of storage, because I'm trying to declutter my my family's digital life, and get rid of some of those streaming services. So I've got Plex to do that, which they're updating their terms of service or whatever. But I bought lifetime membership ages ago, so it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. So if you're into Plex, though, I think today is the last day before that changes. So maybe look at that.
And if anybody doesn't know what Plex is, it's basically you can use Usenet, torrents, whatever you want, couch potato, yada yada, to keep up with episodes as they come out, auto download, auto organize it for you, and it presents itself to you like Netflix for free. But now that's the caveat there. It's not necessarily free anymore.
Yeah, and you've got two main competitors to Plex. You've got MB and Jellyfin. MB is known from a well-known team that's been around for a while. They might not have the same Plex history as Plex, but it does incorporate many of the same features. Essentially, you've got your files, your folders with your data. It indexes them, pulls down the metadata, same way that Plex does. MB does charge for premium features, just like Plex does now. Jellyfin is probably the only one that's still completely open source in terms of being able to completely audit the code base and no pieces of it being hidden behind we're not completely open source anymore, which I like. I don't use it myself, honestly. I still use Plex, but I have considered switching over to Jellyfin. I just have not gotten around to it because not all my smart devices actually have Jellyfin clients, whereas everything, even the television I bought that's definitely backdoored, has Plex.
Everything is Plex.
Everything's Plex.
Because my user base isn't just me. My family isn't. My main user base is my family, right? So they are not nearly as technologically inclined to be able to figure that kind of thing out. So it falls on me to make it as easy as I possibly can for them, and Plex just does that.
And it does it pretty well, arguably.
It does. It's incredibly easy and intuitive to work with.
It really depends on your bandwidth too.
We got 2 gig out. We're fine. Don't worry about that.
All right.
Yeah. So some things to consider if you are going to self-host Plex. You know, this is going to be utilizing the same bandwidth you're going to be using to download things. So if you are a heavy torrent user, you definitely want to set up your client in such a way that it's not saturating all of the bandwidth that Plex would need to restream to your friends. That could involve such things as modifying the quality of service settings on your router, as well as actually reconfiguring your torrent client, modifying the download area, how much bandwidth is allocated to it, as well as optimizing your media once you've downloaded it, so it doesn't necessarily need to be transcoded by Plex, which does add a bit of overhead. So if your media is in a format that your device can take natively, you can direct stream it, which is pretty awesome.
You want to keep your mom from calling you up being like, why can't I watch Desperate Housewives? It's not working.
Or you can flex on somebody, and this is a true story. I had a friend of mine once that I was I won't say talking to, but we were just kind of back and forth or whatever, and she came to visit, and we ended up sitting in a Waffle House parking lot for a number of hours. But her favorite movie was Tombstone, with God, what's his name? The one about the Wild West. I can't remember the dudes that were in it. Anyway, great movie, by the way. And so at the time, my Plex server was sitting in Charlotte. So what I did was I took a laptop, and I've got a Bluetooth connection in my car. So I took my laptop, I Bluetooth connected my audio to my speakers, right? And I streamed over my cellular connection from my Plex server in Charlotte here to Middle Georgia, and we were able to watch that in a Waffle House parking lot. One of my favorite memories. It was a good time.
My favorite recent Plex memory was I was on a JetBlue plane, and about halfway through the flight, I realized they had free internet, and I didn't know until then. So I broke out a device, and I'm like, I wonder if I could even hit my local Plex server and pull anything, and it worked. And I was streaming Buffy the Vampire Slayer over my Plex server in the air, and I was like, this is pretty fucking badass, man. This file exists on my home computer, but it's being streamed to me in the air. It's like, it's a wonderful technological marvel that we live in now.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, especially trying to do it on like a cruise ship. That's always fun. Yep.
Oh, cruise ships! I imagine you didn't have time to hack anything when you were on the cruise ship. You're just enjoying yourself and not fucking around.
The only thing I did was I took a GLINet device and just I paid for one thing and used it for all my devices or whatever. But that's not really whatever. Apparently, Royal Caribbean has stopped this, which is funny because I can do it with my cell phone. I can share out my Wi-Fi connection, so I'm not really sure what they're trying to accomplish, but whatever.
They were also for a while trying to crack down on NAT devices, so they were looking at your TTL and fucking with you. Remember when I was on Royal Caribbean? Not only did I get the free internet by just going, my room was not too far from the actual office place they had there, where you could use those computers by the minute. Mm-hmm. So I had jacked one of those PoE sharing devices in there and back to my room, and I was able to just get online through that.
There you go.
But I was also looking at the Wi-Fi networks they had set up, and they had one for staff, one for guests. Actually, more than that, actually. But I connected to the one that was for staff, and just opened up Wireshark, and it was literally like staff would log in with their credentials, and they had to still pay for internet. Because if this had not been the case, I would have just used one of theirs and gotten free internet. But it was over HTTP at the time, so I was seeing all the creds in plain text go across the wire for the staff people as they were logging into the stupid thing to go check their emails.
Carnival of sheep.
Oh man, if I were a real bad guy, I could have gotten online to any of them and used their minutes, but I'm not that much of an asshole. I just ripped off the business center instead.
See, the thing is when I was there, when I was on my last cruise at least, I did enjoy my cruise, but the person I was with was not. I got judged real hard, which doesn't usually bother me, but we were dating at the time, so But I would have done a lot more interesting stuff, or found a lot more interesting stuff, had I not been constantly berated about not doing that.
Dated a normie.
Try to explain that's not how life works. I wanted to see if I could get myself thrown into to boat jail, see if I could break out. Got told no, can't do that. Nah, man, this is.
I was actually tasked with that once, but I didn't file the paperwork in time. I missed it by like 3 days.
I want to go. I want them to throw me in boat jail to see if I can break out of it. I think that would be fun.
But hey, speaking of spring cleaning, I wanted to bring up this tool that I used the other day to do deduplication and sorting of all my backups of my backups of my backups.
Use tree size.
Tell me about it. Give me new tools.
It's called folder sizes. I tried like a dozen applications, and folder sizes, mwah.
Is it a
beautiful interface? Everything works. It's great. Glorious.
This does, in fact, look like WizTree.
No, but it actually does things.
Oh,
they built deduplication into the other one that's free now. Also, WinDirStat now has deduplication, but it takes forever to scan the big SMB share.
Dedupe is one thing, but being able to organize things all at the same time.
Did you buy the pro license, or did you use free stuff?
Just the free one, and it was
they have
spectacular.
A license. I wonder.
So what I would do is I use this command if I want to dedupe, especially on a Linux box, but you can technically do it on WSL on the Windows box. Works pretty well. Install fdupes, and it essentially will find any copies of files, look at the two of them, whichever one is older is the one it keeps, and then it just kills the other one. And it will also replace it with a symlink on Linux if you change that up a little bit. So you can essentially kill the file, replace it with a symlink to the other version of the file. It works pretty good for a command line thing. And that's this, fdoops.
Yeah, I've used that before.
Yeah, because I told you about it.
No, I used it in college 20 years ago. But this tool is great because you can visualize everything really easily.
This actually looks really neat. This might actually be really good because I've got.
Which one is this called again? It's not tree size. It's
terabytes of data to play with. Folder sizes.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, I'll drop it in the chat here. Where's
they got a .com. .com.
.com. Oh, that was in features, but whatever.
That is the right app there, Sledge.
This is
so we pull it down, and it's got a free version, it seems, but they also have a paid version.
Yeah,
is the paid version worth it, Sledge?
I don't know. I haven't paid for it.
The feature description.
Did you crack it, or did you just like use it as is in the free? Interesting. I'll take a look at this and see if it's worth it.
I too do the same.
I've got certainly enough data that needs to be removed and sorted and fixed.
Highly, highly recommend. Holy shit, dude.
They do not. We are not sponsored.
Yep.
Not yet.
But we could be.
Hey, folder size is div. We'll sell our souls for.
No, we won't. We don't. No, stop that.
Yeah, no, we're kidding. We're kidding. We don't actually do the sponsorships. We cuss too much.
No, we don't. I do like to.
Yeah, fuck off.
Okay, all right. So they have a duplicate file detective. That looks like these are. Duplicate file detective is from that company, not the same software.
You can kind of write your own scripts though too to make it do whatever you want.
Okay, all right.
Well, if I'm gonna be scripting shit out, I might as well just do it in the built-in terminal on my system. Why am I gonna script out for?
I mean, that's fair. But when you have a GUI to actually visualize what you're doing, it makes it a lot simpler.
Man, I'm.
He's one of those guys who needs a GUI. I forgot. Sorry.
Oh yeah, Windows.
Bet you'd pay for Cobalt Strike rather than learn how to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where's your copy of Cobalt Strike, man?
When you're dealing with 48 fucking terabytes nested among each other, it's
this
like
you know what pisses me off is that this is scratched.
Hey, look, I've got one of those somewhere from I think college.
Yeah, this
beautiful.
thing was like $3,500 at the time when it was acquired, and not by me.
Yeah, they give them away to us when we did the cyber defense competition, I think. But
yeah,
you still have to license it.
Yeah, I was talking with Raphael Mudge about this back before you fixed it. Because it used to be you could pull it down and it would have I think it was a 30-day trial. Mm-hmm. But you could also just go into the source code of the actual program itself, which was Java, and it was a text file essentially that you would edit and just change the variable where it would check for how many days to like 99999, or even just comment it out, and it would work just fine. So I would just change it to like all nines, like I think 9 nines for the amount of days left, and then just redistribute that one amongst my friends. And he was like, "Yeah, I wrote an article up on my blog about why not to do that because." I didn't want to keep people from using my tool who can't afford it, but at the same time, didn't want to make it so easy that any idiot could just crack it who doesn't have at least the prerequisite knowledge to crack it. So at least you showed initiative in that you learned how to crack it, but I wasn't trying to make it hard. And I'm like, well, considering how many threat actors are out there right now using your shit for free who didn't get it from me, maybe you should make it a little harder. And then he did. And then now it's not as easy to crack.
That one that you've got there is probably still
right?
perfectly acceptable if I were to guess. Run that, crack it, and run updates.
Yeah, well, if you can just pull down from his website, you sign up for a trial still. And
I haven't looked at Cobalt Strike in
I haven't had to use it in like a year. I actually was on an engagement where they're using the team server functionality, which I had not ever used before, but that team was using it, so that's my only time I had to.
I'm
But,
actually
Sliver
playing with it
does a
now
lot of
for
the same
this
shit.
PRTO.
Dude, you should look at Sliver. It does the same fucking malleable C2 profile stuff.
Sliver is awesome.
When the
Hell yeah for Sliver.
Fortify this. Fortra. Sorry. When did this happen?
When did what happen?
Fortra apparently owns Cobalt Strike now.
Hey, what?
Yeah, Mudge sold it like a year or two ago.
Oh, well, damn. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he got sick of this shit. He's out of the game. I know we're not talking Mudge. We're talking RS Mudge. He's also a good guy, arguably. Yeah, so this, for those of you who don't know, within Kali, there's a program called Armitage. It is very much Cobalt Strike minus the license features, and it is like a GUI for hacking, point and click, right click, toss the kitchen sink at it kind of shit.
Yep.
It is good for visualizing when you catch a shell. And look, we all kind of tease each other about the different tools that we use. It doesn't matter what tool you use as long as you understand the methodology. I saw Kevin Mitnick give a demo once, and he was literally using a C2 built for Windows. And I was like, I have not seen somebody using a Windows-based command and control server in a while, but he was comfortably using it in front of a large audience, caching shells, showing people how he could hack them in real time. And, it doesn't matter what tool you use. It doesn't matter what operating system you use either, as long as you know what the hell you're doing.
This is a reminder about our Lord and Savior Linux, because if I don't say it at least once every 20 minutes, I will explode.
This is the big part is don't use tools you don't understand. Like, take the time to understand them. And I've preached this 1,000 times before. If you don't understand what you're doing, you're going to break yourself or you're going to break somebody else you don't intend to break. And if you, you're going to get yourself, feds, man. Feds.
I always say have a big toolbox. Know what your tools do. You don't need to how they were made or exactly the details of it, but know what they're doing. Just know how to use your tools.
Understanding how they're made and what they do is important. If you just okay, so when I was young, I'm gonna date myself here a little bit. Back in the days of 4chan, the high-rise 4chan, the low and high orbit ion cannons. And they used to do raids on websites with these high and low orbit ion cannons. And I did not understand at the time that was a distributed denial of service attack. Had no idea what that was. It was just, hey, 4chan, let's go raid this website. Click. Here's the IP address, whatever, whatever. So, and I'm pretty sure we talked about statute of limitations a couple of weeks ago. So that was 15, probably 20 years ago, so it's fine. My IP address.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Anyway,
I'm sure the two watching aren't the FBI. 100%.
The feds that are watching later will, though. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so I took part in these distributed denial of service attacks. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just, it's 4chan, click, do the thing. And it took until probably right around the beginning of college to understand, what it did, how it worked, why distributed denial of service is bad, all this, all that, the concept of what's happening. And I actually remember sitting in a classroom. It was my professor was teaching us about tools like this. And I may actually still have the book that I used. And we were going over hacker tools that were used at the time, again, 10 years ago. And one of them came up.
King of Death.
One of them that came up was the low orbit ion cannon. And so I asked her straight up, I was like, so do you understand how these tools work? Are you a script kiddie? And she goes, yeah, I'm a script kiddie. I'm like, cool. Guess we're here. And probably learned nothing else from that teacher that year. Struggle because she was cool. She just didn't really teach anything. Just book stuff. Now, there were professors I had that did teach me a lot. But, hey, look, somebody else has it. Neat.
Did they teach you about Canon Able and all that old school shit too?
Didn't have any of that shit. We didn't talk about it. It was just the basic stuff. Most of what I learned in college was I did stuff on my own. That's the thing, right? I had more knowledge of all of that long before I walked into college. And then I was able to explain, that day, I was able to explain how distributed denial of service worked and why and what the high orbit HOIC.
Yeah.
Words. God. I'm
I
back.
actually got lucky in college because my roommate was a mathematician,
Mhm.
and he was able to help me calculate the smallest amount of work I had to do to barely skate by with the lowest GPA, so I could spend all my
Yes.
time doing self-study. So
Good.
I learned more self-studying than I did in class.
Oh, I just drank a whole lot of Mountain Dew and Monster. We were not at
Y'all went to
all.
class?
Yeah.
Weird.
D's did in fact get degrees though. I can confirm that.
Oh God, I made A. That's because I got a Google degree.
D's got degrees, man. No, I'm joking. Where
These
was
nuts got degrees.
Oh, I was
no.
waiting for it. We knew that was
When
gonna
I went to
happen.
college, I did find that they were using a remote access tool, and every computer on the network within the college was backdoored essentially with no password. So it was a giveaway with it if you loaded up the thing on a computer within the network where everybody's screen would flash for a second who was on the same segment as you who had the client installed. So what I figured out was if I wanted to fuck around and not get found out was I would launch the program and then disable that preview where it would go out and get a screen cap of everybody's computer. But I did figure out the naming convention where the professor's computer in every given classroom had 00 at the end of it. So I could literally right click on the professor's computer and launch the file manager. And a lot of them would bring a thumb drive in with all the work for that semester. And then I would just pull that off.
I forget the name of the tool. You guys know what I'm talking about when I say there used to be a tool where you could run on open Wi-Fi and it would just pull down images from everyone.
Images?
Run that on a college campus and see what happens.
Well,
Dude,
first
when I went to
off,
college,
Dr.
there was
Green off.
really poor security still. Like we had the first time at least, there was a plugin that you could run within Firefox at the time that would grab the Facebook profile of anybody else on the network and let you log in as them. Like it was bad back then. It's
Like,
gotten
back
arguably
before-
better.
Yeah, before
20 years ago was a
SSL
wild
was
time, man.
enforced. Yeah, before you had SSL enforced in all your browsers, pictures are just floating around. And you just pull them down and look at them, and
I've run
all of a
that
sudden,
script.
porn everywhere.
There's a thing that you can pipe from if you do a packet capture with the command line using like WireGuard has T-Shark built in now, and like back then you could run T-Shark, and then there was a command you could pipe after filtering it to find just images over HTTP, and it would literally just display them like a screensaver for Windows would. So you could, it was kind of wall of sheepy. Like you could, anybody on the network who's looking at a picture that's coming over HTTP would just get popped up there on the screen behind you, and that was cool shit. What I want to build is like a demo to scare people as far as like Wi-Fi on your phone is concerned, is a thing that would use the Wiggle database and reverse engineer the probe requests that it sees, make a profile for each device based on the probe requests it sees, but then geolocate those probes based on that unique phone and put it on a map along with like this user name, and then these are the hotspots based on GeoIP that they've connected to. And so like do like a wall of sheep style, but like cooler. I should definitely build that when I have some free time. I was going to build it for Atlas. Time? Dude, I got paid to build it for Atlas because we were going to go demonstrate it at the Monaco boat show, but then we ended up not going that year because of COVID, and then never again. But I had already started building that like maybe fucking 9 years ago, and never finished it. And it's on my list of like projects I started and will probably finish at some point, but I mean, that's a pretty big list, arguably. Dude, that's an idea. An exchange of people who come up with cool projects but don't have the time to do them, where you like post what you started and let other people see it so they can finish it. Should build that on CounterSurveil's website. Call it like the Project Exchange PX.
I can fill that site up real quick.
Nonsense.
Oh, dude, imagine we did like a thing where we could also exchange like parts. Like you send somebody if you want to like do a project somebody started and they have all the parts but didn't finish it, like they could send you the parts, and in exchange you send the parts for a project you want. Make it like a whole fucking trading exchange for parts from projects.
Yeah,
So
like I've got a
fucking-
massive bag of ESP32s if anybody wants some for a couple bucks.
Ooh.
Hey, I got a guy.
Dude, you should put Ghost on those. Have you fucking looked at Ghost?
Yeah, we
I
were
have
talking about
not.
building those. We were talking about building Ghost for that. Yeah. I've got
No, I'm gonna share that one. Oh, that's definitely the wrong link there. GhostESP.net is the hyperlink, and I'm gonna reshare my screen so people can see it. So this is a really cool fucking project that can turn a really cheap ESP. Now I recommend you get the C3 because it flashes really quick if you're gonna do a lot of these, and it's only like
Oh
$3.
yeah, the new one's cool.
It's got USB-C on board, but the base essential feature set on these ESPs is going to be the same regardless of which generation you go with. They're all going to have, if it's an A266 or a 32, they're going to have essentially the same features. And this fucking thing right here is cool as shit, because assuming you've got a compatible board, and they list a bunch of them, you can use an LCD to this. It is very much a similar project to Ponagachi, right? But running on ESP instead of a Raspberry Pi, which is more expensive hardware. You can do a lot of cool stuff with this, and they have a flipper app so you can control it with your Flipper Zero if you've got one. So you don't have to have the same device physically on the flipper anymore. If you want to fuck around with Wi-Fi attacks, you can connect to a Ghost from your flipper and do a bunch of cool shit, which I also think is cool. So it's got de-auth attacks built in. It's got well, they got a freaking YouTube video. I'll just play that. Oh,
It's got the whole gamut.
Not gonna play all 17 minutes of it though. You got Evil Portal. So for people who don't know what a karma attack is, this is the way hackers get into Wi-Fi networks, where they set up a duplicate SSID or a duplicate like name of the Wi-Fi network that you're going to be connecting to. And when you connect to it, normally it would just get you online. But in this case, there's going to be a pop-up window, and it's going to ask you to enter the Wi-Fi credentials. Now, a lot of people are dumb. Obviously, the people who watch this probably aren't. But they would just put the credentials in for the Wi-Fi network they just connected to a different Wi-Fi network, as long as it had the same name and looked legit. So it tosses up a little web page. And you can also set it to, for instance, you want to steal somebody's Facebook creds, you can set it to facebook.com/login. Make a little fake captive portal as well. There's all sorts of cool shit you can do with this.
That's actually part of the Evil Twin attack.
Yep. Evil Maid, Evil Twin, Karma, all very similar types of attacks. Now, generally, when I do Wi-Fi hacking, I don't deal with any of this shit. I'm just going to capture a handshake and then go crack it offline, because that's kind of like standard for me. But these are cool attacks.
Luck with that these days?
Yes. It's a bitch, but it's my preferred way of doing it, because the other ones can give you away. I mean, if you're getting paid on engagement for stealth, which a lot of my engagements are, they want stealth. They don't want initial, like, hey, I want you to everybody to know what the hell I'm doing. So if stealth is important, then they don't want you setting up a captive portal that's going to give you away if somebody's actually knowledgeable and they're like, hey, somebody's got a copy of our Wi-Fi up. Or even the Meraki devices and a bunch of the competitors now have rogue access point detection. So they would see that you set up. Yeah. I actually set up a Unify one not long ago for a client. I did the Dream Station with a custom AP, and it's got that built in. And I configured it in such a way that the client will get a text message through actually it's not real text message, it's using a push notification service, same difference, that will let them know if somebody has set up an access point that's a clone of theirs, because this was a very hardcore engagement in terms of helping somebody get secure. So
the
downside
cool with that though is it eats up a lot of the resources on those devices.
That's why I went with the Ubiquity Dream Station. This is not like a freaking...
That's what I'm running too, but still, it eats a lot.
I imagine you have Surikawa running full time on top of that too. It does eat a lot of resources.
Well, that's on a different server.
Well, I was thinking of trying to get GNS3 up and running again and pulling down different images of different hardware that have come out since GNS has been around and seeing what else it can emulate now. I would like to get the Firewalla running in GNS because I have figured out that they sell multiple devices of this Firewalla thing, and they're actually using ARP poisoning like a hacker would to intercept traffic on the cheaper ones that only have one port to plug into. So since the device only has one Ethernet port on the cheap one, the way that it intercepts the traffic is just doing ARP spoofing. So I thought, that would be a cool device to be able to clone on the fly if you wanted to maybe be the gateway without having to go through all the trouble of setting up DNS mask and all that fun shit to do it right. So,
yep.
As you know, like when I was on one of my first engagements as an actual pen tester, I fucked up major by doing an ARP spoof but not setting the gateway correct. I set it to my gateway instead of the gateway on their network. So I was trying to have the traffic go out my gateway, and I didn't understand that at the time. It's like why you should understand how your tools work, and essentially black hole internet for the entire company, making it so nobody could get out until they rebooted all their switches. Even after I stopped doing attack, everybody still couldn't connect. And I did
Where
the
have
same
I
thing
seen that
intentionally.
happen before?
DHCP exhaustion attack you can actually legitimately use to screw with a network, especially if the DHCP addresses you're giving out don't have a gateway set properly. That's a cool attack to do if you actually are having DOS in scope. Not that I'd recommend it, but it is a way to prove to a client that they, even though they did everything right, you can still F with them if they want that as a service.
After hours.
Oh, hey, I'm a
After
problem
hours.
as a service.
But these are really freaking cool. These ghost devices here. I mean, we're talking really cheap hardware, the ability to deauth. You got BLE control. So essentially, look, you're going to be using this thing. You're using the Wi-Fi you'd otherwise set up an access point for. So what you do is you have to set up Bluetooth on this. And setting up Bluetooth on this is a bit of a hassle. You have to essentially SSH into the device and have Wi-Fi enabled first. And you're connected to the damn thing over Wi-Fi. And when you're SSH into it, then you go and use the Bluetooth command on in Linux. It's not called the Bluetooth command, but there's command line to essentially connect to a new device, and you use that to connect to this fucker, and then it'll auto connect to your device from there on out. Then you don't need to utilize the Wi-Fi antenna that you want to use to deauth to be able to control the thing. So you've got it tethered to your phone and can launch attacks right from your phone that otherwise, like most phones do not have a compatible radio to do Wi-Fi hacking, unfortunately. You can go, if you really want to screw around, four phones I'm aware of that still work for this. Z-Anti doesn't work anymore.
It does if your phone is rooted.
I wish those old GeneXs were still around. God, I loved those things.
So what you can do, if you have one of 4 phones, is put the old NetHunter image on there. They do still update that NetHunter image, and yes, you can run NetHunter rootless now. But if you want to have like packet injection support, you need to run an official build. Back in the day, there was a really cool guy who put out a custom kernel for NetHunter who hasn't updated his website in 4+ years. That dude was the one who actually built the kernel that had the Wi-Fi drivers for injection in it. And that guy's name was fucking... I forgot his name, and that makes me feel bad. But he's the reason I bought that shitty little itty-bitty computer, because I saw it on his website running Kali, and I'm like, I want that. And then I realized that website was from 2017. So I went on eBay and bought the little computer, and then I went to go put Kali on it and realized that was a nightmare. Got it running, got it working. It required literally hand editing tons of config files just to not have the screen rotated the wrong way on boot. And it still is rotated the wrong way in Grub to this day. And every time I try to fix that, I end up nuking the whole damn thing. And the guy's name is Reason, now that I think about it. And it was Reason Colonel. REASO, I think. Colonel. Reason Colonel. This guy actually, pretty talented hacker. I hope he got hired by opsec or something. But this website hasn't been updated forever. I thought it was pretty fucking cool. And he did great work. Like, he built essentially the ability on a Pi Zero to be able to do injection. This was then utilized by that other project, the Ponagachi, so that you don't have to have an external antenna connected to it if you want to be able to do some Wi-Fi hacking where you're capturing handshakes and de-authing, which is great.
All right, so hang on. This was for a phone or just a normal computer, like a little computer?
So this little computer, Pocket Cali, is what I bought this computer here. And
I'm just curious about the chipset that it has in it to support injection.
Yeah, so I will get that up for you here. So this is the little sucker I bought here. It is called the GDP Pocket Mini, right? I bought the first generation one of these on eBay, and it literally does fit in your pocket. It's a tiny little phone this big. I put Linux on it. I got it working, but unfortunately the battery, since this freaking thing is from like 10 years ago, kept dying after it get like maybe a 30% charge, and then it would very rapidly drain, so it's not very useful. But it did, I did get Kali on it and working, and I did get injection working, but that required now with the modern Kali Linux image of manually sideloading specific drivers into the damn thing to get it to work. A lot of the time, I actually found that even when you get that working properly, it crashes. So I just went back to using a third-party external antenna over USB. It's just still cool, a cool project. This Reason guy has built a lot of really cool shit over the years like that, but hasn't updated this website in forever. He also built this thing called Voodoo Kali, which I wanted to try out, but unfortunately it's so damn old at this point you can't anymore, which is where you had Linux and Kali working kind of like you used to have with VMware, where you could do that little hybrid mode where you have both windows on the screen at the same time. But doing
I saw
it in WSL and open.
That was actually pretty funny.
Yeah. Doing an OpenX, so like a Ming server, so that you can do like caching X windows, but running over WSL. That was fucking cool. Kind of like on a Chromebook, how you can just type a Linux command that's got a GUI component to it, and it will just run natively. It was really cool fucking project.
No, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, if you want to, like, on a Windows box, run a Linux X server program, you can download Xming and configure it with your PuTTY client. And then when you're like remote into the box, you can type Xeyes, for example, if you have that package installed, and the eyes will pop up on your current computer and you'll move it around. And like you can type like Firefox, and then it would pop up Firefox from the remote computer on your computer through an X window, which is kind of fucking cool if you have not played with that. It's slow as shit unless you have a good connection. It's still cool that it works at all, in my opinion.
Speaking of projects we have on the back burner, has anybody played with those LoRa's yet?
No.
Played with those LoRa's.
I don't have my hands on any of them at this moment.
So Sledge,
mine's still sitting on my desk.
I don't even have one.
I have a couple of other things I want to accomplish first before I get into LoRa, but it's on my list. We just pestered Alt about the Vector logo because I have a whole bunch of shit I want to print and engrave, and I can't until that's done. And once I get that done, I can start on something else.
So this is a really cool project I wanted to share. We should definitely build it for DEF CON if we can find cheap enough hardware to do it. So this is a LoRa-based walkie-talkie.
Oh, shit.
Running on the LEGO T3 S3 MSVR. So,
okay.
So this is that one, right? So these are like $25 a pop. They do have a unit that's $10 a pop, though, right? And that unit just doesn't have a microphone and shit. So I was thinking it might not be too hard to get the $10 one and port the software since it's on the same chipset anyway. And then have a walkie-talkie that you could have that's like not expensive but also encrypted and also
walkie-talkies. Hey.
Dude,
Hey.
Meshtastic is great, but there's no voice, right? So I think the same kind of thing as Meshtastic, where it's going to grow as the network grows, and you'll be able to relay, but voice over is kind of fucking cool.
So can you drop me this link? Because this is relevant to my interest immediately.
Yeah, man. Of course.
Fuck, I might actually just go buy this right now. Damn it.
It's in the host contributor chat for
Beautiful,
for later. Jimmy posted DSniff. That's a cool freaking tool, and WebSpy. So DSniff is a set of password sniffing and network traffic analysis tools written by security researcher and startup founder Doug Song. Now you can see that on your side, hopefully. Yep. So DSniff is cool. It handles a bunch of different protocols, yada, yada, yada. Cool tool share. Thank you, Jimmy. There was a Wi-Fi hacking thing I saw not long ago I wanted to share, but I cannot remember the name of it right now.
There's a new one that came out that is trying to reclaim, like it's trying to be the new Wi-Fi, but it's basically the same thing.
Like feeding bottle or like any of those tools that kind of automate the Wi-Fi hacking experience.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi has not worked in a long time, at least not on most hardware, unless you're going to go get the really, really old shit. Unless it's just me. Sometimes I have problems with tools that other people just don't have.
Sometimes you got to go old school and use the Aircrack and G Suite.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. This one I was looking at actually is using Aircrack under the hood, but it was automating a lot of the hard lifting in terms of the different attacks. Like I know how to use Aircrack. I taught myself how to do it for an engagement because unfortunately the pineapple I had on me was not working. So I was like, all right, I'm going to teach myself. And I did. And I was proud of myself. Did not capture the handshake I needed on that engagement.
I learned it before the pineapple was a thing.
So look, I got dependent on tools to a degree. Like I understand we joke about like don't get dependent on tools. But when the pineapple works and it doesn't have that fucking AP crash right after you launch it because of power issues, it does a pretty good job of doing what I need for most Wi-Fi engagements when I do get one. I didn't feel the need to then go and take the OSCP level class where you can learn about Wi-Fi hacking or increase my skill set because I got complacent, which is the danger of relying on tools and not understanding how they work under the hood.
I've honestly never used a tool from Hack 5 on a pen test. It's always been Panda Wireless or an Alpha card.
So the Pandas are ancient, but they do work, and they are mostly Atheros chipset, if memory serves. I found one that actually worked really well, but I needed to install custom drivers for it on Linux. It was not recognized off the bat as one that supported injection, so you need to blacklist the existing driver that it loaded with and pick a different one. But once it was set up, man, this freaking Wi-Fi card worked great. There's a lot of them out there. It's just not everybody supports like master mode, monitor mode, and injection. Some are going to support one or the other. So like some will be good for throwing up an access point. Some will be good for actually de-authing. And very rarely do you get one that's good at both that on 2.4 and 5 outside of both Panda and shit, I was going to say Orinoco, but that's like 20 years ago now.
Man, I've tried so many.
Alphas are good in general.
Alphas is what I learned on, but these days, Panda all day. That's a hill I'll die on.
Yeah, I've used the Panda one, the little dongle one that doesn't have an antenna, and it works pretty good for ingestion.
You get the one with 2 antennas on it. You get 3 of those sons of bitches. Boom, you're cooking with gas.
Yeah, I damaged my fucking. I can't get another one of that Wi-Fi coconut, which would let you listen on the entire 12 gigahertz.
Yeah, I wanted to see one of those. Like I wish I could get my hands on one of those, but they don't sell them anymore.
I've got one that I broke it. One of the so they warn you not to transmit on it. Okay, guess what? I was without a Wi-Fi card that was working on an engagement, so I said, "Fuck it, I'll try it," and now it won't work anymore.
You fucked around and found out. Would you look at that?
Rest in peace.
They literally have big red text. It's like, yes, this card will recognize as RT2800. Several of these do not broadcast from it. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to try.
It's got its own built-in DRM.
If it's dead, if it's
No, the issue is the way they optimized it was for listen, not for transmit. So you got like 12
so it
of these next to
actually
each other,
broke.
and when you try to transmit from one, it overheats and actually doesn't fucking work anymore out that radio.
Yeah.
So now 11 of the radios work on it, and one of them doesn't, meaning their software no longer picks it up as their device. It just sees it as 11 individual radios that are addressable that you can receive from. And one of them that if you do go to use, which is kind of random to figure out because they all have very similar MAC addresses, unless you specifically disable that one, when you go to use one of the other ones, it breaks. So like it's very limited now what it can do. I can listen to 11 channels at once still. That's great instead of 12. But now I can't use it as it's intended. So
why don't you pull it apart and replace it?
It ain't
I
no
thought
Wi-Fi
about
tech.
it, but I don't know which one of them is burnt. It doesn't really. If you look at the damn thing, it doesn't really. It's not obvious. It's not like.
That's fair.
And like I'm not the skilled level where I'm going to be soldering the shit myself, and like especially a lot of these components on this thing are SMD, and I could never solder those little itty bitty SMD components.
Oh boy, do I have a tool for you? If
I got a Brett for that, man. I got a Brett for that.
What is the tool?
There's a tool where you can basically measure the output and input of like a antenna connector. I can't remember the damn name of it.
VNA?
Yes, it's freaking sweet. You got one?
Of course he does.
I've got one over my other desk over there.
Insert joke, but what do you get the Havoc that has everything?
Yeah, right.
Sounds like he's trying to Google where he put it.
That's me.
The answer is up his bum.
You always got to keister everything important.
I mean, if you don't, the TSA will for you.
I'm gonna have to check inside your asshole.
God, they always pick the ones with the clammiest hands.
Well, what's worse than the game of Ask Grabby Grabby?
I got a VNA.
We made that joke, but I don't know what Ask Grabby Grabby is, and I didn't want to say that in front of Larry.
You didn't get that?
That's why you're single. Okay.
Dude, I mentioned that because at the end of every episode of Paul.com, they would ask whoever they're interviewing, in the game of Ask Grabby Grabby, would you go first or last, and then give a certain amount of people.
Okay, all right.
That's why I was like, he's gonna get that.
So I haven't listened to Security Weekly in probably since college, and I know, shame on me, I'm real bad. But let me just get let me get hung up for that later. But yeah, I know.
We'll roast you. It's okay.
I'll go back and listen. Thankfully for me, it all exists out there on the internet anyway. But I didn't want to say that when we had Larry on, because that would have been really embarrassing. And now I'm telling the world because he'll watch this.
Well, you're
later.
telling all of like 2 listeners, and we're pretty sure none of them are Larry.
People who listen.
Well, honestly though, we are pretty advanced in our careers, so I would suggest Enterprise Security Weekly. Same people, just different topics.
Okay, cool.
Unless say y'all are advanced, I don't know what happened.
You are. You're here. You stop that.
I'm technical, but I'm still kind of a junior.
It was Larry, not Paul.
It would be worse. We could have called him Joe again.
That was great.
That was not great.
Our biggest guest ever, and we misnamed him like 3 different ways.
No wonder no one's watching.
Feels bad,
They're
man.
so offended. They're just never gonna watch us again.
Feels bad.
Here's an idea, because look, these fucking things are great. Like this Ghost one, I was thinking we have Meshtastic, right? Meshtastic was on ESP device already, right here. Like you have an ESP device. If we were able to modify the Meshtastic firmware so that you could do more than just run Meshtastic, so like have Meshtastic as functionality, but not the entirety of what's running, and have the ability to have just a little more memory on one of these, we would be able to load something like Ghost, but then control it over Meshtastic Net. So be like a couple miles away through different hops, but then use it to hack Wi-Fi somewhere else. Wouldn't that be fucking badass? Let's build that.
That would be fun, not gonna lie.
Like, Sammy Camcar had a device back in the day that he would use to hack from, because you don't hack from your house, except he did, but he would do it essentially multiple bounces over a mesh type thing that's not mesh-tastic, where you get a shell. And he put that project up on GitHub. So like rebuilding that on modern hardware that actually has the support for it built in on one SoC would be pretty fucking badass, I think. So like
also
that'd
never,
be a cool project.
Never hack where you rest at. I don't care if you own a house, use a bounce. All right.
So many stories about this technology that I can't talk about. But yes, I've messed with this before.
DSniff? Yeah. That's good shit. Yeah, so I cannot remember the name of the other Wi-Fi hacking thing that I wanted to share, unfortunately, because my brain is mush, and it's not going to not be mush for a while. I'm getting old, guys. I'm getting old.
Oh yeah, you did have a birthday.
I did. Just don't tell them when, otherwise they'll know.
Happy birthday to you. You're getting old too. No.
All right, somebody make a cheesy AI video for him.
Come on. I know one of y'all are gonna do it.
No, thank you.
Hey, you don't have a choice.
Who?
No.
What? I missed every bit of that. I'm so sorry.
It's his birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
It was his birthday at some point, but recently. We're not doxing him. Come on.
It wouldn't be hard.
It really wouldn't. I've done it, but you know.
So yeah, I made that little hackers intro today, and we got all 4 people watching now. So I'm
hey,
glad
we got
some
4
people
now. I guess someone has actually forgiven us for accidentally misnaming our biggest guest.
Look, Joe Pesci was okay with it, you know.
He's probably on here just laughing his ass off.
Probably.
Somebody heard us say his name. He just invoked him like Windex store. You know.
Hey, we got nervous, okay? It happens. We're human.
I was just fangirling a little bit. Don't worry about it.
I saw you. I was texting, man, and I was texting at the time, and you used the name Joe. So, whatever. But he played it really well, and I appreciated that about him.
I was nervous because he's so cool and I'm so lame. Okay. I was low starstruck. I'm like, okay, I've got poker face.
So 3D printers are cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about 3D printers?
Oh my god.
Well, they 3D print for one. That's pretty fun.
I can make things. I can make really neat things in different colors, like this or like this. You know, because that's what was asked of me at the time. And no, they haven't been sent out yet because I'm bad and it stormed really bad here earlier. So those are going to get sent out tomorrow. But they are beautiful. Beautiful.
I'm sure they are. I look forward to my 3D print, and we'll be using it for good.
What printer?
I will be using mine for evil. Thank you very much.
What printer did you order?
What printer did I order? I have not ordered a printer yet.
Oh, okay.
I said I look forward to my print, as in what you made me.
Oh, you're talking about the one that I have it in its box. It is
excellent,
ready to go. All I have to do is ship it. I'm so sorry about that. But
no, I
got hit by the same storm. You're good. I got hit by the same damn storm today.
Yeah, we had there was a tornado about 10 miles from me, and I actually am getting pictures in now of a friend of mine's house that had a tree ripped apart.
Oh, well,
yep.
Has your friend tried not having their tree rips apart? That sounds unpleasant.
Yeah, it's not awesome.
He should invest in stronger trees.
There you go.
You know, I know this guy named Sledge who's really, really good with that kind of thing.
So check this shit out. This dude built a last week tonight somehow ESP antenna array that you can use to see and then augment on top of where somebody is.
Ah, yes. That's
Spoopy.
neat.
Isn't that That is so badass, man. It's like you can literally see where somebody is through the Wi-Fi, which means you can see through the walls where somebody is in their apartment.
That's been around for a while.
Disney has the same thing with their magic bands. Only I think it's using some other proprietary method.
I mean, it's Disney. If they're not using a proprietary method, they would explode.
Hey, that looks like a dick.
Actually, here's a call to the audience. I've got a bunch of cups from Disney, and I can't freaking figure out what the RFID, NFC, whatever it is, in their cups are.
Oh, dude, that's the same shit they have at Kennesaw State now.
Yeah,
One
there
of
are
my students
RFID
hacked it.
tags in the
Give me a
bottom.
minute.
They've got the ones on Royal Caribbean. Same thing.
Yeah,
But I can't.
Yeah.
I have not been able to detect it with any of my tools. That's why I'm like, what the hell actually is this?
Oh,
Have you tried detecting it with a low frequency HID reader?
Yeah.
Let me
a lot-
ask
Something special about it.
There's not something special about it. They're using like a retarded version of MyFair, if memory serves. It's just running on a different frequency intentionally. Like they just shifted the frequency. Okay, let me find it.
About to say, it can't be that much. I had one of my students hack the one at KSU for free refills.
Yeah, I was looking for the free soda
no, I didn't
video.
help them. I totally
Yeah,
did
but
not
how
help
long
them.
ago was that?
In my case, it's about 3 months ago, so
Okay.
relatively common.
Yeah, those are not that hard. They're just frequency shifted. They're I think if you have what's it called? I'm not a ham radio guy, but there's a thing you can add to your rig that lets you shift the frequency something both broadcasts and transmits on. I don't remember what it's called, but it's what needed for reading some of these.
Talk to the Sledge in the house. He's the one that's most apt for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got all the SDR tools for it, but for some reason I couldn't get any reading off of it. Maybe it was just fucked.
It's also like very low transmit range. It's like shittier than.
No, like I had it on my desk, sitting on the antenna. I assumed what it was, but I think it was, maybe it was just broken.
Yeah, no, they're just little itty bitty. Like as I said in the Royal Caribbean ones, they use them in Coke machines. There's a little reader at the bottom of the Coke machine that you stick your thing on, and it reads it and tells you if you got drinks or not. I don't know where one of those cups is at this moment, or I'd show you.
Yeah, Disney uses the same thing, and then KSU
Yeah,
uses the same thing.
It's all probably the same proprietary Coca-Cola stuff, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Most likely, but based on this conversation, I'm determining that it was probably just broke.
Yeah.
Or cracked or something.
That or you got
Because
in your own head
I should have
again.
been able to read it easily.
RFID technology to identify and track beverage cartridges. Oh, that's cartridges. Never mind. Hold on. Time out.
That or you got in your own noggin again.
Yeah, it's RFID. That's what it is.
Yeah, basic shit.
Called valid fill is the word you're looking for.
Also known as DRM for drinks.
Yep. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. Like, Kennesaw State, okay, the meal plans are already stupid overpriced as is, and then they have to limit the sodas. Sodas are some of the cheapest things to buy in bulk. What the fuck? No wonder the students keep hacking you. I mean, nothing.
Heavy profit margin on soda. You buy the cartridges for it. You buy the machine, and then it literally is like a money printing machine at that point, because you're talking like maybe 2 to 3 cents to fill up an entire cup of soda, probably less, and the main cost is your CO2, which if you have a compressor on board, you don't need to worry about. So these fucking people, like this technology here for rapid fill, they have videos on like how it works and how this thing is at the bottom of the cup. I assume this is the same cup that you're talking about here, right there, Sledge?
Those things are cool, but no, not the same.
Here, this
not
is
the
what
same
you-
as rapid fill.
Where in the hell?
Oh god, they're using a Dollar Tree Rapid Fill.
Yeah, they're called valid fills. Is what you're looking for. And I sent you a link in the host chat. Just poke around that and get a good idea of what you're dealing with. Dispensing wisdom.
I hope that whoever made those goes to hell, gets thirsty, and has to deal with their own product.
Dispensing diabetes 1 cup at a time.
Like, it's fucking infuriating. And yes, no, it's only personal because I went to that fucking college. But, come on.
Swirly Drink Works. Yeah, you can iterate down here recursively and find all kinds of stuff here, actually. Hershey Park, Quick Trip, Kimmel, Legoland, Levy.
Right.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that uses this.
Yeah, mine must have just been broke. I couldn't even read it with the flipper
I
or
think that's probably what happened.
It may even break after use on purpose.
I don't think so.
Which would be interesting.
I didn't think about that. I can find my cup and take it on my next cruise, whenever that is, and see if it will read it at least, just to see if it will do anything. I don't think it will. I think it's time based, but I can tell it. I can tell you if it'll read, but I have no idea when I'm going on a cruise next.
That would be a very interesting anti-forensics trick.
It's
that
like
I
you should
would love to repurpose.
Yeah, you should at least be able to see it, though.
Right. But if they made it where you can't see it and it legit breaks on purpose, you know,
well,
I take back the thing about hell. They fucking deserve this win, honestly.
It's just a little tag, though. But like, this message will self-destruct in T-minus 7 days is pretty based. Not gonna lie.
It's pretty based, and at that point, I'm like, you know what? Okay, these bastards actually thought this through. I'm gonna shut my mouth.
We're still at 13.56 megahertz, though, right? We're not at like 902 to 927, so it should be emulatable, like through a flipper.
You would think.
I mean, flipper could do both, but valid fill. I mean, I've definitely seen videos of people hacking valid fill shit with both little stickers that they were putting on there, as well as fucking with the flipper and leaving the flipper on there until it started dispensing, and then hoping their flipper didn't get soda covered on it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's why you get a good flipper case. And this is a good time for certain crowd talk to start talking about that. Come on, this is your cue.
We're still working on that STL.
Yeah, this is it's a in progress. Got to get there.
Well, I don't know what he's working on, but I'm working on a Picatinny rail mount for a flipper.
Is it bad that I want one of those, despite the fact they are horribly impractical, to say the least?
It'd be hilarious, and I want to see if we get in trouble.
No less practical.
Yeah. I mean, I know my range would get mad at me, but that's because I've already changed the color of their lights to pink more than once.
Handing them out in Vegas, I want to see if that would get us in trouble.
There's no less utility in that than there is a Picatinny rail for a pager. You know, the extra bomb.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, where else are you supposed to put your gifts from Assad?
That's all I'm saying. Gifts from Assad sounds like a fantastic band name. That's going on the list.
It really does, like an amazing metal band. Yeah, okay.
That does sound like a fantastic band name.
In before the racist comments.
I mean, look, if I make that joke one more time, I'm going to get massaged, so I'm going to shut up. All right, I know not to fuck around with that and find out. Like, that is a nope. All right, that is my fuck around quota for the day met.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
The context made sense.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
There you
go.
go.
For legal reasons, this entire podcast is a joke, and I love y'all.
For legal reasons, that's a joke. Oh, man.
The part about me loving y'all is totally a joke for legal reasons. I mean,
oh, no.
What? Kidding.
It's fun.
Well, insert joke about feds don't feel love here, but I'm not a fed, so it's okay.
Feds can't feel love. They're all ginger.
Wait, shit. Does that... Uh-oh.
What?
Where's Drew? Drew?
Yeah,
Drew, you told me you weren't a fed, Drew. Drew, you said you weren't a fed. Get your butt in here, man. Explain yourself.
He's not a fed. He's PMC, dude. PMC. Close, but no cigar.
He's also on an airplane right now, so whatever.
Oh, yeah, he can't hear us talking shit about him.
Nope. Unless
Even
he's one of the fourth watching.
I'm
even
smart
they
enough
don't
to
get
know not to
coverage
talk
up here,
shit
do
about Drew.
Like, there's no way the PMCs get coverage up there. Like, right?
I mean,
I've got a picture of him somewhere we can talk shit about. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh, we don't.
I mean, if I keep dead naming the company he works for, well, company quote unquote, I'm actually probably gonna get disappearified. So I'm gonna shut up now.
It was kind of funny because before he started, like before all the things he was talking about on our episode the other day, we were in college and I did a podcast episode with him and I got a picture of him going, I don't sell explosives to the government.
Even back then, y'all knew what he was gonna become.
Jesus.
Good times, but what are you guys feeling like? I'm tired of shit and order some food.
Yeah, basically same. I had my first day at work today at the new role. I sure hope my boss forgot to watch this.
It's fine.
So I'm pretty tired.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to kind of go on today. I ain't really prepared.
Yeah,
much,
we're at an
so.
hour and a half.
But just know that if you have a place in your apartment building where they only let hybrid vehicles park, these are extremely cheap.
What is that?
And they look pretty good.
You know, I think putting that on my 2000 ain't gonna do me much good.
Nah, you
It's
never
a hybrid
know.
ship box.
Yeah, you
And-
can hybrid.
It is the hybrid shit box.
Also a good
Hybrid
band
shit
name. We're
box.
taking that one too. Hybrid shit box.
Hybrid shit box. No, just put that on my resume. That is me as a person. I am a hybrid shit box.
Aren't we all?
Well, I'm also a problem as a service, apparently, because now I'm employed, so.
Hey man, don't bitch. Worked out fine.
At least you're getting paid.
Right?
Right? So far, I like my new role, actually.
That's all that matters.
My coworkers are pretty based.
Your boss is pretty based.
Yeah, no, he is. And his memes are pretty dank.
Bro,
Like,
bro,
man memes like a legend.
Bro's great.
My new team's pretty cool too, but whatever. Can't go into too much detail about it.
I can't really either.
My team is. I had somebody talk about how Google can't get hacked earlier to an end user.
Oh, okay. So the company I work for has a whiskey chat, so just come on over.
I was explaining. So I keep a bottle of Malox and a desk flask, and I got invoked in my old organization's group chat the other day. My old protege reaches out to me, says, "Hey, you got the lore mentioned," and I'm like, "All right, so what's up?" And so apparently one of the guys asks, "What's the best thing that let's see, in terms of gadgets, what's the best thing that you found?" And somebody responded, "Desk flask," or is that too much like me? They were referring to me, and I'm like, "Great." So I taught them Malox and a desk flask, cause reasons. And so I was explaining to my boss earlier. He asked me. I said something to him about it a few days ago when it happened, and he goes, "What's the Malox for?" And I was like, when you have those days. And so I iterated this. I took the screen caps of what I had found in what had happened with my junior, and I sent it to him. I said, "So you remember we were talking about the Malox and the desk flask? This is what the desk flask's for." Good. So that's fantastic.
You should have hyped him up on Malort.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best whiskey ever, Malort.
Oh no, I tried that in the work chat, but half of the people have gone to DEF CON and they're just like, no.
I've never tried Malort, and
Wait, you haven't Malorted?
No.
I'm gonna trick you. I'm gonna
Yeah,
trick you.
no, you're gonna Malort. There's no choice. You're Malorting.
I don't know. As many times I've drank at your house, Sledge, why have we... Well, don't do this to me.
I'm not gonna buy it. but it's a DEF CON, so I'm gonna
Gary,
trick you.
That's I'll just take it. It's fine. I'll hate myself.
This isn't how I was expecting to make the blue team cry, but like I approve.
I promise I've done worse. I've done a lot of bad shit.
Not as bad as Malort.
I don't know that I mean, I won't say it was bad. I'd do the last dab in tequila again. It was actually pretty fun. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's actually meant to be edible. Yeah. Malort literally has a slogan: "Tonight is the night you fight your dad."
And same with like legit absinthe. That shit's awesome.
But I hate.
God,
I can't do licorice.
I love licorice.
Oh, you're gonna love Malort then.
Like I can shoot Jaeger and absinthe. Like I love that stuff.
Nope, I get violent when I drink Jaeger.
Oh, you're going to love Malort. Malort's gonna love you.
We don't do that here. Oh God.
If you like it, if you like the worm at the bottom, you're gonna love Malort.
That's something I'd imagine we ice people with in the future. Just like, ugh.
If you like the worm at the bottom, you're gonna love Malort. My concerns grow great.
Yeah, no, that is the best description I have ever heard. Actually, that checks out.
Oh no. Well, I guess I might not survive DEF CON. Whatever, it's fine. It's fine.
I mean, if you are guaranteed survival at DEF CON every year, you're doing DEF CON wrong. Like, if you haven't risked dying at DEF CON at least a little bit, like, is it DEF CON? If there's not at least one PMC or one nation state that's considering just killing your fat ass while you can, did you DEF CON right?
That's fair.
So point A, the worm is pickled, so don't worry about it.
And point B, you don't want to know what's pickled in, so don't worry about it.
Point B, you haven't done DEF CON right if you haven't gotten the cops called on you at least once or twice.
Right.
Fair. Maybe I need to up. Maybe I just need to up my DEF CON game. How about that?
Oh, so hey Sledge, we get to teach him next year.
I'm so concerned. It's next year.
Oh, this year.
This year.
Oh shit, we get to teach. It's the Sledge School of DEF CON. That would be an amazing segment.
Yeah, the call for noons is coming up. The Goons is already closed.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
You didn't put me up there, Sledge?
I'm still waiting on the email.
Dude.
Oh man.
Come on, you're the best foon. Like.
Yes. Fluxion is a security auditing and social engineering research tool.
Ooh, love that.
Yes, this one's pretty cool. So makes it a lot easier to do a lot of those more complicated Wi-Fi attacks. It's got a bunch of built-in captive portals. Looks really nice.
Use Parrot OS for less errors. Love that.
Oh, cool. Built-in shit. That's nice.
Yep, and it does a check before it runs to actually make sure you have the tools installed that you need, which I like.
This is actually pretty sick.
Yep, it's just another front end for the stuff that we need to learn how to do.
Make sure you understand how these things work before you use them.
Yep, that makes social engineering easy because when I was doing it, we had to have 3 different radios, one to host the bad site, one to do the DOF and send them to the other radio, and yada, yada, yada.
And another one that's similar to Fluxion is Airgeddon, which literally command line, just pick the attack you want to run.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Good. Love that.
Pretty nice.
I'm surprised that's still around. That's an old one.
Yeah, me too, actually. Does it still work?
Airgeddon still works. Fluxion is newer, though, and frequently updated. So this one is, I think the last code update was... Nope, this one's fairly old now, years ago. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I got them backwards. Is this the one that's updated?
I think the new one starts with a C. I'd have to do some Googling.
Yeah, I was looking for the one I couldn't remember because I posted it in one of our chats a while ago. But I spam those things so much that I cannot even find stuff that I posted myself anymore.
Right.
Cool shit, though, nonetheless. I got nothing else to talk about. We all have shit to do, and there's only 4 people watching. So I say we call it a night and regroup for next week and think of some good content ideas so that I can advertise this ahead of 2 hours before we do the cast, so some people are aware of it next time.
Yeah, if people I'm hitting up would respond to me before 3 days later.
This is your yearly reminder to clean up your data storage. If you needed a sign from the heavens, clean up your data storage. It's spring cleaning time, kids.
And if you need a sign from hell while you're at it and while you're down there, don't forget to check up your opsec and actually look at your threat model so you know exactly what you're fighting.
Hey,
and if you're a data whore and you're addicted to data, just delete everything and start over.
System 32.
Oh yeah, this is a reminder to delete your System 32 folder before it's too late.
Yep.
It's spying on you. And don't forget to install Linux afterwards. And yeah, no, I totally did not have a motive behind that. No.
Shut up, Miss Nix.
Not Nix. Stevie Nicks? No, not that one.
I was about to say that's a hell of a flatter. Thank you.
Well, at least you can see.
Can't I? You see
this code looks great.
Good Lord.
I mean, says the Windows user.
Rip.
You know, I'm going to say that that's a C and not a G on your monitor. It's the first letter there.
So I'm gonna leave. I'll leave y'all with this joke. Why does Sledge wear glasses? So he can see sharp. Oh, okay. Time to go.
Oh, that's funny. Oh man, that's terrible, but it's great. It's not that. Oh, this has been fun, kids. Thanks for another excellent one.
Yep. See y'all later, kids and skids.
Hey, it worked out this time.
Hey, don't forget the feds, man.
Oh yeah, shit. There's feds in there. I can't just call them skids. They usually get offended.
I don't care about offending them. I was just saying, don't forget the feds.
You can't forget the feds.
See you tomorrow, FBI.
Not today, NSA. Hey, look.
NSA.
No. They'll see you in a few minutes. Don't worry.
Who are we going to be today? Let's
you're
be
going
CDC.
to bed.
We want to be CDC. Let's be LulzSec.
Yeah, LulzSec, man. I haven't seen that one in a while.
All aboard the Lulz boat, man. You got to get all aboard that boat. How about
I think
High
there's
Toss?
a leak in the boat.
What did you just change our background to behind
Shit,
us?
I can't actually talk about the leak in the boat. That's actually not good.
What is the picture behind that? That's peanut butter jelly time. Memes.
Beelzebub. That's a cool name.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Trigger warning.
This got gory very quickly.
Yeah, so there's different profiles on here from different shit we've done over the years. So, you know, you can pretty much switch to any of them, which is nice. So High on InfoSec was another failed project there. That did not go so good. That was supposed to be like we were going to have green-friendly hackers come on and talk. It did not take off. We had CounterSurveil here, and I cannot find my outro, which is why I'm stalling here.
Well, that would explain it.
Well, I'm rushing you, but no.
Hey, Sledge, move over just a little bit to your right. just a little bit. Come on. Hey, look, there he is.
Hey.
All right, hackers and cyber warriors, it's time to encrypt this episode and send it out into the digital ether. Thank you to Sledge, Delchi, CrowdStrong, and Altkey for another epic nerd out session. And a special thanks to our guests for joining us. And to all our listeners out there in the cyber trenches, patch fast, encrypt tight, lock down your ports, and leave no backdoor open. Hunt threats like it's open season. Keep your passwords long. Your MFA enabled. Don't use SMS as a second factor. Keep your malware signatures up to date, your critical data backed up, and your network locked down like Fort Knox. Until our next PunFest, stay vigilant, stay curious, and above all, stay CounterSurveil. Whether you're pen testing networks or hardening your own defenses, Remember, in the game of cybersecurity, you're either the hunter or the hunted. So sharpen those skills, mask those IPs, and we'll see you on the dark side of the net. This is CounterSurveil, where we turn paranoia into preparation, shutting down but never logging off.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.